Do you need love? And what is the definition of a need? Okay, can't do without it. So it's something that you have to have in order to survive, something you have to have in order to be able to live. But a definition also for needs includes the fact that you cannot produce that which you need. So, can you produce love? Well, the logical conclusion is no, you can't produce love, right? Now, is that just our problem or is that everybody's problem? Well, that's everybody's problem. So no human being can produce the love because every human being needs love. So if every human being needs love and no human being can produce love, well, then there are a few conclusions that we might be able to draw. One, if there's not a source, we should all be dead. If there's something that you need and there's no source for that thing that you need, then you're going to die. How long have we known that we needed love? Well, a few millennia, right? And we're still here. So that necessarily means that there is a source of love, but that source is not human. And of course, we would call that source God. And God is love, exactly the love that we need. So as we looked at before, do you need a love that is full or incomplete? Do you need a love that's eternal or temporary? Do you need a love that is unselfish or selfish? Do you need a love that's personal or impersonal? We need a love that's full, eternal, unselfish, and personal. And what if you think you can find that here? If you go here for that kind of love, are you going to get it? No, you're not. And if you think that you can get it here and you go for it here, how is that going to result? There's going to be a few problems. So imagine you've got a neighbor and that neighbor's always coming over and they always want something and they're, and they want eggs and they want butter and they want flour and they want sugar. They want a mixing bowl, and you got the idea, oh, they're making cake today, and you're the, you're the source. And they're just that kind of neighbor. They just keep coming over, and they keep asking for things and so on. And one day, it's the, you can't avoid this one, so you got to go answer the door, and you do. And there they are, and they're desperate. And in their desperation, they relate to you what's happened. They found out that their child has come down with a terminal condition. And this condition has had no known treatment for it. And it, of course, universally fatal, usually within 6 months of diagnosis. And their child has just been diagnosed, and the doctors have said, do your bucket list. We're putting you on hospice when you get back. So they're desperate. And they are not the usual Google searchers, right? The usual Google searchers, and Google relies upon this, will never get past the first 3 to 5 hits, right? That's it. Hardly anybody ever goes past the first page of hits. You go put in some kind of term, almost nobody goes down and hits the 150 billion other pages that might actually come up. They just look at the first one. And so then you can control all of the information that everybody has access to if you just rank things on the first page, and that's what everybody sees. But anyway, so this person is not one of those usual Google searchers. And they're searching and they get to page 300, 350, and they're looking up this particular condition, and they found that there is some center off in China somewhere, and they've figured out how to treat this condition, and they've got about a 50-50 success rate. But if you're not Chinese, then you've got to pay up front. It's only $5 million, and they want $5 million so that their child can be treated. So, $5 million, please. Right, that's what they're asking for. So how many of you are giving them the $5 million? You are so cruel. Such cruel, heartless, insensitive people. You're laughing. You're even laughing at it. Why aren't you going to give the poor person $5 million so that their child can have a chance to live? Oh, is that a problem? You don't have it? You mean you don't have $5 million? I thought that was just my problem. Okay, so you can't give them $5 million because you don't have $5 million. Oh. But what if they think you do? And they come back and, maybe you give them $1,000 to go towards their goal. And they come back later. And they want the rest of the $4,999,000. And they come back later, and 3-4 times a day, they're knocking on the door. And every day of the week, they're coming, and they're knocking on the weekends too, and they're knocking on the door, and they want the rest of the $5 million. How do you feel? Well, a lot of people are frustrated. Why? Because you don't have what they need, and they keep coming to you as if they've got what they need, and you can't give it to them, and they keep expecting it from you, and you can't produce. You're frustrated. How do they feel? Yeah, well, they're frustrated too, because they think you've got what they need, and you're not giving it to them. Welcome to relationships. So you've got one person that has the idea that the other person can be the source of what they need. You're going to be my source of joy and happiness and belonging and acceptance and all of this kind of stuff, and you're going to be my banquet for the rest of my life, and this is working really wonderfully during dating period. We talked about that a little bit last night. And, things are all wonderful and daisy wonderful in the dating period, and then you're like, well, this is great. I can do this the rest of my life, right? I can come here and eat from this banquet. Oh, this is, oh, yeah. And then what happens after you get married? There's two people that are hungry and nobody's serving. And that's a problem, right? Because now you expect the other person to be the source of what you need. You expect for them to provide for you a love that is full and constant and unselfish and personal. And that's the same thing that you need. And you can't provide what you need if you need it. You're frustrated because they're not happy because you're not making them happy. And you think you should be able to make them happy. And so you're frustrated that they're not happy with you because you can't make them happy. And they're frustrated with you because they think you should be able to make them happy and you're not making them happy. And so they're frustrated too. And so everybody's frustrated. Does that sound familiar?